Tony Rose looked up at the red and brown brick building in front of him. He was about to enter the 2 stories of boredom and judgment, and he was not ready. He never remembered going to a school. Granted, the black and dark shield hair 17-year-old didn't remember much of his life from before he was 12, before the accident. He suspected everything had been better. After all, he knew who he was. Apparently he had a brother and a father, but they didn't survive. His mother was always working, leaving Tony alone most of the time. It was alright, though. He preferred life like that. He didn't have to see everyone else's pain when he was alone. Only his. For as long as he could remember, so about 5 years, he's been able to read people based on simple observations. Every movement, stance, expression, and word played out their whole life story to him. At this point, he did it on instinct. Some people thought he was crazy, but as his therapist had found, he most certainly was not. He was just slightly unstable from knowing everyone's pain, and from not knowing who he was. He didn't need school. He was smarter than most of the teachers, but his mother and therapist thought it would be good for him to be around other kids his age. He was wishing they had listened to his argument against going to a school full of loud, judgy teens, and a lot of them which he did not want to know the stories of. Today would be either really boring or really scary, and Tony didn't know which yet. Pushing thoughts of doubts and exposition aside, he entered the building full of kids already knowing his class schedule and locker combination from a meeting with the guidance counselors a few days before, and headed to his first stop, the gray locker he would have his important school things for the rest of the year in. He was just thankful that his therapist managed to get him a pass to keep his bag in school. He needed it with him. It was his coping mechanism. It would help him survive any situation, especially the most dangerous: social interaction. Speaking of social interaction, it looks like those people were approaching him. He noticed people cowering away from them. His suspicions were correct. They had only bad intentions. He supposed he didn't look too intimidating. Sure, he was tall, nearly 6.5 feet, and still growing, but he was scrawny, and from many nights of forgetting food was a thing he needed. He wore glasses, and his long dark hair was tied back in a messy bun. He didn't really look professional in any way. He was extremely pale from all of his time working on building robots in the basement, with a few bruises from where he'd accidentally hit himself with a metal those few times. He looked more cute than intimidating, despite his height, he had to admit. He realized he had gotten distracted from the why and missed the where. When he refocused on reality, they were almost right in front of him. He sighed. "Who's this? New kid?" The largest of the group snickered. "Why don't we show him how things work around here?" The others nodded in agreement. Tony looked bored, staring into the eyes of the potential bully. Tony sighed. He knew that why they were targeting him. "Why are you threatened by me? My height? Rumors?" "I don't believe I look very threatening," he stated, leaving the large jock surprised and angry. The angry teen swung his fist forward towards Tony's jaw clumsily, which the strange boy easily dodged, sending the other forward due to a lack of balance. He then continued walking towards his locker, calm and collected, as he walked past the jock's quote-unquote friends. The other athletes just stood there in awe and confusion, trying to process